Beauty can be just about anything. It's not just about how you look or if you have on makeup or if you have on an outfit that makes you happy. It can beauty can be just about anything. It's how you talk, how you walk, how you command a room.
All
That's
right.
beauty to me. How confident you are. That's beauty to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
And welcome to the Tiberius Show today. And I'm your host, Tiberius Boy. And as always, we're looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. Well, today's guest is someone who mixes business, fashion, confidence, and empowerment all into one powerful brand. And now, do you guys know what fashion really is? Well, I think we're going to learn some new stuff today. So please welcome the one, the only, the amazing Ciara Robinson.
Hello everyone.
Well, thank you for being on the show, Ciara.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Ciara, you're the owner and founder of Divine Curves, Inc. So for people who have never heard of it, what is Divine Curves?
So Divine Curves is an online plus size store where we dress your curves to make you who you are and make you confident.
All right, so where did the idea for Divine Curves come from?
I've always been into fashion, but this actually came about sitting in a cubicle at one of my jobs, and I said I'm tired of going in the store and not seeing things that are appealing because as plus size women, we don't want to look like a flower pot all the time, so we want to have variety. So that's how Divine Curves was born.
So for the listeners that don't know, what is plus size?
Ooh, plus size. You got me stumped there. Most people say plus size is fat, but we're not fat. We're just curvy. That's what plus size is. Plus size is curvy women. And I have a shirt. I have body positivity shirts. So it says my curves are not one size fits all. So you can be slender and have curves, but my brand is more so for the curvier woman.
Is that with a PH fat or is it?
The bad word FAT. Yeah, some people say the FAT, but I like to say the PHAT.
There you go. There you go. All right. So was there a moment in your life when you realized this is something I need to create?
Yes, always going into the store and not seeing thing that's a variety for plus size women, or it's always like I stated before, floral. Like we like to wear colors as well. We like to look cute. We like to go out and be seen as well. So for me, it was just a way to give the plus size community variety.
All right. So your story talks a lot about confidence and self love. Why was that so important to you?
Because there's a lot of adults and young girls who don't have that self-confidence, and I want them when they put my clothes on to feel confident, loving themselves and seeing themselves as beautiful like I see them.
All right. So before starting your business, did you always feel confident, or was that something that you had to like grow into?
That was definitely something I had to grow into. I had to grow into my confidence. And even as an adult, I'm still growing into my confidence as an adult. Like there's different stages of our lives. So of course I had to build my confidence in especially in high school. It's different. So as an adult and as an educator, I'm building my confidence in myself while also building confidence within my students and my customers.
So did anyone ever tell you that starting your own business would be too hard or risky?
Um, yes, there were a few naysayers, but my family and my friends have been always supportive, telling me to reach my goals. Just go for it. Just do it.
So what
Don't
made you
wait.
push
Do
forward
it.
anyway?
Because I wanted to see something different. And I
Mm.
always told myself I can do hard things. So if that's my motto, then I have to go forward.
So what was the very first step that you took towards, turning this idea into like a real company?
I had to come up with a name. So I wrote down several different names before I got to Divine Curves. And of course I had to Google to make sure nobody else had the name. So I wanted to be unique and make my curves a K instead of a C. So
Hmm.
that was my way of being different and unique. So it's Divine Curves with the K. And that's how I promote my business. I'm like, it's Divine Curves with the K. And they're like, oh, that's different. That's
So
different.
what does the name Divine Curves mean to you personally?
um, Divine Curves to me means boldness. Um, it means faith because I'm very strong in my faith, and it also means confidence. And those are the three things for me. Like I like to be a bold person. I'm strong in my faith, and I want everybody to have confidence in whatever they do, and whatever they wear.
All right. Now, running a business sounds, exciting, but also stressful. So, what's the hardest part about being a business owner?
Um, for me, work-life balance because as I stated, I am an educator. So I have to take care of my educational duties first and then find the time or carve the time out in my day to do my business stuff as well. And then I like to do other things outside of it. So this school year I was a coach. So I had to I had to take that time that I normally carve out for my business. And now I'm on the basketball court with my players. So
Nice.
just a balance of being a teacher, a coach, and a business owner.
So, what's kind of like the best part about your job?
I love vendor events where I can talk to customers, where I can tell my story. I just like being around the community and just promoting my business. And just talking to people. That's like I love. Those are my things I love to do.
All right. So, do you design everything yourself or do you like work with the team?
So I actually have vendors that I order from, and then I resell it from the vendors that I have, and that took a while to find the right vendors that will capture what Divine Curves actually is.
So, what is something that kids would be like surprised to learn about, running a fashion brand?
Um, you definitely have to be creative and make it your own because I heard a lot like there's a lot of running businesses and fashion businesses. Yes, there's other people selling clothes, but nobody is me. You just be creative and be yourself and make it your own, and that's what help you to stand out.
Have you like ever had like a moment where you thought, "Uh-oh, what did I get myself into?"
So actually, the first time I opened, when I first started the process of opening my business, I actually left the job I was at and I got into the school system, and then I went to grad school to get my master's degree. So trying to teach, get my degree, and be a business owner, I was like, okay, I don't know how to balance all this. This is a lot. Like, what am I going to do? So I actually end up closing my business. So that's the time where I was like, whoa, I think I got way in over my head.
So, what's one mistake that you made early on that taught you a big lesson?
Ooh, um, it's a lot. In the beginning, I had like a million, but I'm exaggerating, a bunch of pictures on my website. And then when people go on the website to purchase, now I have to go on my vendor site, which means they're sold out. And now I have to tell the people, oh, I have to refund you your money. So I wasn't as prepared as I am now than I was last time. I did more research this time around than I did last time around. So I feel like I gained a lot more wealth of knowledge this time around than I did in the beginning when I first started the business.
Well, you know what? Here seems like a good time to take a quick commercial break. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
So you want to make an ad for your company, right?
Yeah, Tiberius, you want to help me?
Okay, so what's the name of the company?
PPWND.
PP what?
Professional Pressure Washing and Detailing.
So you like clean driveways?
Yeah, like that. We pressure wash commercial buildings and semi-truck and trailers.
So how would someone get a hold of you?
They can visit my site at ppwnd.com or call me at 407-900-7793.
So I just tell them to call you at 407-900-7793 or visit ppwnd.com?
Yeah, Tiberius, you got it.
Cut, that's a wrap. Just use that.
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
And we're back here with Ciara Robinson, founder and owner of Divine Curves Incorporated. All right, so Ciara, confidence is a big part of your message. Why do you think so many people struggle with confidence today?
Ooh. Honestly, I feel like they struggle with confidence. See, wasn't ready for that question today. I feel like it's not really talked about. Confidence is not really talked about that much. I feel like that's a word that you just basically go with the flow sometimes. It's like, I either have it or I don't. Somebody's going to tell me what this actually means and looks like, or they're not, and I'm going to just have to wing it. Because what is that? Because if you go to a little child, you're like, hey, you have so much confidence. And they be like, what
Like,
does
what's
that
that?
mean? Right. Like, what does that mean? What is confidence? So I feel like it's not talked about and it's not taught. So I feel like once it's taught, I feel like more people will have confidence.
So how can clothing actually affect how someone feels about themselves?
Ooh. Well, I always have the motto, if you look good, you feel good. So I guess if you put an outfit together and it's just not the best, you might not feel your best. So I would say always find an outfit that make you feel good, whether you feel good or not. Like
Yeah.
that's hard for me because I always choose my outfits based off of how I'm feeling. And most of the time when I wake up, I'm feeling happy. So I'm like, I can put this piece together and this piece together. And now my confidence and my attitude or whatever has boosted because I know I look good in the outfit that I have on.
All right, so what advice would you give to a teen that feels uncomfortable in their own skin?
What advice would I give? The advice I would give is find things that bring you value. Find things that make you happy. Um, One thing that I like to do is I like to draw. I'm not the best drawer, but I like to draw. I like to write, listen to music. Those type of things bring me joy. So I learned to do things that bring me joy and add value to my life.
So how do you define beauty?
Hmm. Honestly, I define beauty by how do I define beauty? Because that could be that honestly, it can be anything. It can be the way that you walk, the way that you carry yourself. Um, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but
Oh,
what do you mean it can be anything?
I mean, beauty can be just about anything. It's not just about how you look or if you have on makeup or if you have on an outfit that makes you happy. Beauty can be just about anything. It's how you talk, how you walk, how you command a room.
All
That's
right.
beauty to me. How confident you are. That's beauty to me. Like I know some people will be like probably listening like what is she talking about? Like it's not always the look. It's not always the look. It's
She's
really
not
just
lying. All right, so what makes Divine Curves different from other fashion brands?
um Because I make it my own. I don't have the mindset of I'm just like everybody else. I try to be different in the type of clothes that I choose. I try to be different, and when I'm talking to people and giving my story, like I just make Divine Curves me, and I make it unique.
So, how important is representation in fashion?
Oh, it's very very important because when I look in a magazine, or if a company sends me one of those little magazines because they got coupons in it, and I don't see anybody that looks like me, I'm not going to give it a second thought. It will go on the counter and I'll be like, I'll look at it later. Whereas I like to shop at Torrid and I see women that look like me. They're plus size. I see African American women that's plus size. I see Caucasian women that's plus size. Latinos. They're representing plus size women. So they're like me. So of course I'm going to go in there and spend my money because they're showing me that plus size can be beautiful.
Well, do you feel pressure being a role model for others?
No, not really. I mean, nobody's never really came up to me and say you're my role model, and I'm waiting for
So,
that day.
yeah. So, what's the most powerful message someone has shared with you about how your brand helped them?
Um, I haven't really heard like a message, but I know when I went to a vendor event and I always display my clothes so my customers can actually see the clothes, feel the clothes, and imagine themselves in the clothes. And the lady was like, I like this shirt. And I was like, okay, well, you can try it on if you want to. And she got down to the last button and she was like, no, I want this shirt. It's beautiful. It's different. I don't care. This is what I want. So I was like, oh, okay. Let me go ahead and ring you up before you change your mind. So that in that moment made me excited. It made me feel like, oh, she sees my brand for what it is.
So, how do you handle criticism and like negative comments online?
I welcome criticism and negative comments because that's the way that you learn and you grow with the criticism. If you can't take criticism, then that means you're perfect and you're okay. But I'm okay with the criticism. I didn't at first because I'm like, why are y'all judging me? My clothes are nice, they're this and that. But it's okay to take criticism and learn from the criticism.
All right. So, what's the best piece of advice that someone ever gave you about business?
Do it scared. Do it scared. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean do it scared? It was
Always be scared when running a business. That's the truth. You're always going to be scared.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
like, should I do this? Should I really do this? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, wait, no. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of how it feels.
Yes.
So when something does, indubitably go wrong in your business, how do you problem solve?
So there's actually a team behind me. So there's my mom and my dad, there's my sister, there's my cousin. So if there's anything that I feel like that I'm not understanding, I'll bring my team together and we'll have a conversation on how we can problem solve to rectify the situation.
So what do you wish more people understood about starting a business?
Um, that failure is okay because when I closed my business the first time, I felt like a failure. And I said, I will never do this again because of how I felt. But look at me now. Failure is okay. You learn from it and you just grow. So, yeah.
So why would a kid listening today want to grow up and do what you do?
Ooh. Because it's fun and it showcases your talent. We're told all the time we grow up that you have a talent and you always think, oh, well, what is my talent? What am I supposed to do? So I would say, just it's fun because you get to showcase your talent, who you are, and sometimes that helps people come out of their shell. It boosts their confidence and the beauty of people seeing a different side of you.
Well, on that note, let's take another quick break to, pay some more bills.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And we're back here with the incredible Ciara Robinson, entrepreneur, fashion creator, and confidence builder. All right, Ciara. So what have you learned about yourself since, starting Divine Curves?
I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned that I can do hard things. That is one thing that I always tell myself, and I tell my students, you can do hard things. So within that, meaning that when things get hard, I just continue to push forward, push through, and I learn and I grow from my mistakes. I always tell my students, you learn the most when you make mistakes. If you've always do everything right, then what are you learning? And yet again, it's okay to fail. Failure is okay. It does not mean that it's the end of the world or you are a bad person, but it's okay sometimes to fail and grow from it.
All right, so if you could change one thing to make your job easier, what would it be?
Unlimited money.
Unlimited what?
Unlimited money.
Not like 10 other yous that don't need pay.
Unlimited money to fund my business. Unlimited money. Yes.
All right. So what skills do you think are most important for young entrepreneurs to learn early?
Reading, math. I think those two are important. That's what I tell my students all the time. I say you're going to see reading and you're going to see math. That's very important because I say you got to be able to count money. You can't count your money. You're not going to make a lot. So I feel very strongly about reading, writing, and building connections is very, very important. The skills that you need.
Now, did school prepare you for running a business, or did you learn more by doing?
I feel like I learned more by doing because I feel like I've been working all my life. Like when we played basketball at the rec centers, my mom and my mom's friend ran a concession stand. So I've always been around money or business aspects. So concession stands and different retail, grocery stores. So I feel like I've learned it as I've gone on in life.
So what's one thing you're still learning like right now?
One thing I'm still learning, of course, the balance. I'm still learning like the marketing side of business and understanding that social media runs your business. So I'm learning like what to post, when to post, how to post. I know somebody might say how to post, but yeah, like you post on if you have a regular social media, yeah, you post, but when you post it on your business, you're trying to draw attraction to your customers. So I'm learning that aspect of social media.
Well, if you could go back in time and give, 14-year-old Ciara advice, what would you be?
Ooh, not back in time. You made me seem like I was real old. Back in time, I would tell 14-year-old Ciara that the confidence will come and you will continue to build your confidence. You will be somebody successful. Continue to just live your life fun as a child. And what else would I 14-year-old say?
Well, if a teen listening has like a business idea but feels scared, to start it, what would you tell them?
Do it. And make sure you have some very supportive people around you. Do your research. Um, it's okay to be in a market where people say it's saturated because, like I stated, you're going to make your business unique. But having strong support is very important.
So, what does success mean to you now compared to like when you first started?
Um, it means everything. It adds value to my life, so it's fun for me. I enjoy it. I mean, there's
So,
never a
what was
dull.
the biggest mistake that you've ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
What's the biggest mistake I've ever made? um, Closing my business. I
Oh,
feel like that's one of my biggest mistakes. Yes, yes,
all right.
because I did it without letting my parents know that I closed it. Because one day my dad was like, "Yeah, we got to get the business back up. We got to get the business. I got some ideas." And then I was like,
It's closed.
and that's when I had to basically like, it's no longer. And to see his face, I was like, okay.
All right, all right, all right. Now, can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show, but that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Okay, so I was going to one of my friend's Christmas parties, and we all got dressed at her house, and we just finished taking our pictures. And she was like, "Sis, do not walk down those stairs in those heels because my stairs are narrow." And I was like, "No, I got it, I got it." And I was walking down the stairs. Well, in my head, I was walking very carefully. But when I opened my eyes and I had like fell down the rest of the stairs and the heel went one way and my body went the other way down the stairs, I realized that I wasn't walking that careful. But in my defense, it was only like one step left. So I don't know how I
One step too many.
fell.
All right, all right. Well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you and like what you do?
So I am a sixth grade special education teacher by day, and I am a business owner. I am a licensed hair braider. Um, I work for my church.
There you
I
go.
just have multiple jobs, multiple jobs.
Well, do you have like a website or like a social media for my listeners that want to follow?
I do. So I have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and it's Divine Curves, DIVINESKU. No, I'm sorry, DIVINEKURVES on social media, and then my website is divinecurves.net.
Ah, .net. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember, it's .net, not .com, not no .org, not no .edu. It's .net. All right. So, what's that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
About integrity, math, my favorite color,
What's your favorite color?
yellow.
Oh, all right. Kind of like that door hinge over there.
Yes.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you, Ciara, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
I definitely can.
Sweet.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners.
And now it's time for Math Corners. You know what? Thank you, Ciara, for being, helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're some multi-step word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve. And today, we're going to talk about the area of a piece of fabric. Okay? So you should be good at this one. Alright. So Susie is planning about making a new curtain for her windows, but they need to be completely square. For this fabric, she needs 54 feet of fabric for each side. What are the possible dimensions of the sides of the curtain?
I think I'm going to need some help with this one.
Alright. Don't worry. I got it. Well, you know what? This is a real-world problem because people need to have their curtains just right. So first, to figure out the factors of 54. So let's count them out. 1 and 54, 2 and 27, 3 and 18, 6 and 9, and all of these are factors of 54. So you can have 4 different combinations of curtains, but they're not square. I'm sorry. So Ciara, do you ever have to make, different lengths and widths of dresses and other fabrics for your clients?
No, actually I've been blessed that my vendors do all of that for me. So when they send the clothes, they are already pre-packaged in their bags. So all I do is send them off to my customers when they purchase.
All right. Well, my teachers always say that I'll use math every single day. How do you use math in your work?
As a teacher, I teach my students math, and it was funny that you said the word problems because that's what I have been working with them on is word problems. So we use math all day, every day, in my job as a teacher.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ciara, for your help with Math Corners.
Thank you for having me.
And now it's time for the Heart of the Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. Well, you know what? This week, we're going to talk about integrity. For me, I think integrity is doing what is right, even when no one else is looking. Qualities of integrity is honesty, sincerity, truthfulness, and fairness. So this week, my friend Jake did a very good thing. He helped some kids out with some movement tech in a video game. Some kids in a game were just getting into the game and weren't the best at it at all. So he offered just, to teach them the way to do it and some extra things to learn along the way. And this is really showing integrity because Jake didn't have to do this. But he went out of his time, playing, just to help some kids just have a fun time. But as soon as he was about to leave, he killed both of them and sent them back to the depths. Wah, 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 wah. Well, Ciara, do you have an example of integrity that you saw this week?
Yes. Of course, being a teacher, I teach my students to have integrity. Always, like you stated, doing things right when no one is watching. So I had to leave out for a meeting, and my peer professional was in the class, and I gave them strict expectations like, hey, if anybody does what they're not supposed to do, you will receive lunch detention. So one of my students, normally whenever I leave, they like to talk and have them a good time. But this time around, when somebody was talking to them, they basically turned around like, hey, I'm not supposed to be talking. Like, I'm trying to have lunch detention. I want to do what's right. And she didn't realize that my peer professional was watching her do the right thing. So she didn't have to get lunch detention. So I'm very proud.
I don't want no lunch detention. I ain't want none. All right. So, Ciara, of all of the Heart of a Lion virtues, which is the one that you see the most?
I think I see them all with being an educator. I think I see every last one of them. And also as a coach, I see all of that as well. I feel like you have to have integrity when you're playing sports.
Well, we should always try to be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Yes, we should.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Ciara Robinson for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking to you today. I think I learned a lot about your work, with running divine curves and, redefining confidence.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciated this opportunity.
And do you mind giving your social media and website again?
Yes, I do. My website is divinecurves.net. So that's DIVINEKURVES.net. And then my socials is also Divine Curves.
Well, and also you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at the Tiberius Show, and I would like to thank WWPR 1490 AM, Kansas 98, Soul Radio 24/7, Easy Way TV, and all the other stations that air my show. And please be sure to visit the Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Ciara, please tell me that you're subscribed.
I will subscribe.
Okay. Okay,
I will
I'll
definitely.
hear your word out. I'll hear your word out. Well, this week, Ellie Bernadette says, "Oh, now that was cool." And Bacon Tato says, "This took 4 years of sign language in my 30s. Everyone should learn it." Yeah, Bacon, it was cool to learn that sign language in itself, and it's just your own language, and not just a version of English. But be sure to leave a comment on my videos, and I may even mention yours at the end of the show. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.